Hi guys, how are you? Thank you for tuning in, for watching this. So it's happening. It's tonight. The presidential debate, the U.S. debate, is happening. It is just like literally, it is 8 hours away. Um, so it's going to be exciting to see what the both candidate have to say, what the both candidate would do, and I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is actually, to me, he is right now the one that is favored uh, to win the debate. I don't know. It's too early to say whether the one who wins this debate is going to be the president or whatever. It's just the whole thing. It's really exciting to see what's going to happen. Um, so now Biden, um, he, you know, he said in an interview that during the, Charlottesville back in 2017 when Donald Trump, was accused for being a supremacist and things like that. That's when Biden knew that he had to run for the presidency and face Trump, something like that. So now that moment is here, Biden, and I hope that you are ready. Um, this is, to me, you have two people that I disagree with. You have two people that I really don't like being the next president of the United States. One is already the president, but so it's like you have two guys that I disagree with both. So it's uh, it's really it's kind of you're in the middle. You don't know what you do. You don't know who you're gonna vote for. I don't live in the U.S. So I'm not gonna vote per se, but the idea, if I lived in the U.S., who would I want to vote for? Because right now both of them are really not. One being who he is, and the other one is being very, I don't know, careful. I don't know if this is some kind of a strategy Joe is showing, like when this, BLM protest was happening, and there were some questionable things that was happening during that time, and Donald Trump was actually there in many of them and showed his, support, uh, whether the police department was Republican or it was run by a Republican sheriff or a Democrat. Donald Trump always showed that he was there. I mean, he did in most cases. I'm not saying he's the perfect guy. He was there the whole time, but there were some questionable acts that happened that I didn't felt like the Democrats had, you know, like they were there to uh, distance themselves from this thing or that thing. It felt like that whatever was happening, they were like, okay, like why not? Like bug it. I don't know if you can say bug, but I just did. So the presidential debate is happening. It is going to be awesome. So by then, so I read this article earlier, and this is uh, Biden says racists have sought to do U.S. presidency, but Trump is the first one elected. This is some really harsh words from former Vice President, and this is, I mean, I have followed Donald Trump in the media, and yes, in many cases he have like really been like super, he wasn't. like what happened in Charlottesville when that girl was killed by these white supremacists, and those who were white supremacists were going around and protesting and saying, Jews won't, uh, what was it, replace us or whatever. They were saying something like that, and Trump was literally saying that there were good people on both sides. Like, really, those were good people? Okay. So that was one of the, things that you shouldn't say as the president. Like, come on, both, yeah, good people on both sides. They didn't appear to be good people, but then later, when this protesting started happening over the past 5 6 months, apparently there are no good people. There are not many good people on the other side either. So it's balanced. So it's going to be interesting to see. Listen, whatever I say is my own opinion, so you don't have to think that I agree with this or disagree with this party and I'm supporting this one. I don't support any of them. I think both parties, both candidates are really not good ones. I'm sorry, but that's how I see it. But if you look at the resume of these both, I think that Donald Trump's resume speaks for itself. I mean, he did brought peace. I mean, he did have two countries in Middle East recognizing Israel. I think it was two or three. Yes, I will get back to that, but three countries. Um, so the expectation for tonight's um, let's see what CNN has to say. So this is what they assumed is going to be the issues that they're gonna talk about. And I'm pretty sure most people would uh, have something similar in their heads when they hear that this is going to be a debate between these two. It's like a two giants fighting in the ring. Like WWE thing. WrestleMania. This is like one of the WrestleMania moments. Uh, I believe that the corona response is going to be the one of the key factors, one of the key questions of this debate, but also it's going to be um, they're gonna ask about the Supreme Court nominee, which is something I will talk about a little bit deeply later. Um, and also his tax returns over the past, I think, 2 3 days. New York Times have released an article talking about Donald Trump's tax returns for the past 2 decades, and now earlier today they released the part two of the article. I didn't know that articles, were subjected to be 2 3 parts. Like I really liked Avengers, then came the second one and the third one. So now can stay tuned for the third article, which will be dropped before the election day. So the timing of this article is seriously, it's I love these elections. Like every time there is an election, there is always dirt on the other guy that they dig up. I remember for Obama when they were asking for the birth certificates, and then there was like there were some serious. I love these American elections, man. They are really, sometimes they can be really funny, but this time, and the timing always seems to be, I don't know, it's kind of there is something about the timing that I find it to be fishy. Anyway, I'm gonna save that for later. Sorry. So corona response, I think, is going to be one of the main questions, one of the key questions, and also is going to be the tax return and Supreme Court, and also the racial injustice in the U.S. and the I hope that they include, like wildfires, because I mean, it's really interesting to see how they would do things differently. That's one of the questions I'd really like to them to talk about. You know, this debate is going to be 90 minutes. You know, 1 hour and 30 minutes at least. Yeah, it's 1 hour and 90 minutes. So hopefully during these 90 minutes they will have a lot of topics to cover, because that is one of the things that I love to see what is going to happen. Um, and wildfires is also one of you know, like, you know, hurricanes, like all these natural, you know, disasters and catastrophes should be included in this debate, because there are certain things that you can, you know, I mean, you cannot prevent a hurricane from happening, but you can, you know, like, you get what I mean. Include these questions. I hope that they have thought about it. Anyway, this is it's going to be a very interesting debate, and I'd love to see Joe Biden, to see how he's going to respond to somebody like Donald Trump, because, uh, you know, Donald Trump, he's very sharp. He's a sharp guy. It feels like every press conference he has, it feels like a debate, because he get all these questions and he deflects them. He answers most of them, but some of them he just, you know, being just himself, and the way he handles the media is really funny, and it's exciting to see the how the future will look like now. So it's couple of hours left, and let's see who's going to win the Hoedown Showdown. Uh, it's, uh, it's, let's see.